Hey everybody, it's Arnisha and this is Good Things Happen on Wednesdays. So I'm back with another episode and this one is going to be about travel. I know one of my very first videos was about this because, as I mentioned several times throughout this year, I got the opportunity to go to China and it was absolutely life-changing for me. It made me grow. It made me really want to take advantage of all the opportunities in front of me and just go out there and stop being shy and nervous about all of these little minor things. And also it made me realize what's all that there is to life, you know. And just recently I had the opportunity to go to Las Vegas and it was absolutely amazing. And no, we didn't go just to gamble or drink. I went for the experience of being with my friends and being with my boyfriend and just really being able to get cultured and experience something new. You know, we got to go out into the mountains and that was one of the most amazing experiences because you really just get to detox and get away from everything. You're in the middle of the mountains, you're hiking, and you get to see everything for what it is, untouched. You know, here everything has a construction sign on it or something man-made, but when you're out in nature, it gives you time to really think about life and think about the things you take for granted and take advantage of, and you really just relax. You know, as much as I was tired trying to climb up the hills and taking deep breaths and needing water, it was still an experience that I would do over and over again, just because you get to see the mountains, the dirt, the little critters running across, and you get to see how plants live, how everything lives out there. And I know that sounds maybe hippie-ish, but it's so true because you don't think about these things. So here's some tips, I guess you could say, on how to travel at my age. So first, you want to make sure that you don't want to just cash out and do the most. It's a lot of planning and preparation. You want to try to find the best deals because I understand struggling students, struggling millennial, whatever it is, struggle written all over it. But you can still enjoy your life while you're going through the struggle. You don't have to deprive yourself of experiencing fun things. You know, take a load off for a little bit. It won't hurt you because you'll get it back and the experience will be worth more. Make sure you plan. There's a bunch of different apps out there. There's Trivago. I don't really use that. I like TripAdvisor because it gives me a good, you know, perspective of, I like to look at the reviews because if I'm getting something cheap, I want to make sure there's not going to be cockroaches. I want to make sure the food's not going to be bad, the service not going to be bad, it's not going to be scary or malfunction. So always check out the reviews and just look things up. You know, you want to find a destination and pick out a time. What works best for you? Make it so that you can request time off of work, or if you get your schedule out in advance, do it where you have scheduled time off so you're not going to lose hours, if you understand that. So if you already on your schedule are scheduled for that day off or those 3 days off, plan it then if you can plan that much or if you get your schedule that much in advance. And if not, schedule off, but see if you can make up those hours before you go. So planning is the most important thing, obviously, when it comes to trying to take a trip, especially when you are on a budget. Next thing, destination. Pick somewhere that is going to be fulfilling. If it's somewhere that you can get right at home, then why bother? Like, visit that place at home at more convenience and cheaper. But if you want to go away, at least plan to do something that's out of the box or that you can only do there. Like, for example, we hiked the Red Canyon, and there's not a canyon, there's no mountains here. We have Hocking Hills, but it's very different. And we did a lot of just different fun experiences in the West. That's a great place to be. But even when I went to China, that was a school trip. However, it was still something different. I took advantage of that opportunity. I can't wait to get more places on my passport. But yeah, So don't stress about money. That is another thing. People stress too often. I don't have it. I can't do this. I can't do this or that. Which, yes, it's true. Having money is very important when you want to travel. But that's where the planning comes into play. You know, if you can get a deal on this, invite a buddy, make a group, make it cheaper, road trip if you can. Because when you worry about money, you always have to realize money's always going to be there. And these opportunities sometimes are once in a lifetime. You know, who knows if I'll ever make it back to China, so I had to take advantage of it. And if you have a good work ethic and you're smart, you're gonna make that back. So instead of stressing about money, you know, be able to just live your life. If you take here and there, and I'm not saying charge everything on a credit card and ruin your credit and then go through that whole struggle, but be smart about how you want to travel. When you get everything lined up, which it will, you'll be set. So don't be afraid to splurge a little bit, but splurge on the right things, because that's why people complain, because they plan a trip and then they go crazy. They act like they're big ballin', money bags, all types of stuff, when you're not. You gotta face it. Just because you're on the trip doesn't mean you have money to ball out like you see all the famous people. You go on your trip and you still live like you got common sense. So that's something. But it is overall, travel at this age, at any age, is a very eye-opening and cultural experience. So whether you can get a day off, whether you can get 3 days, a week, however long you're able to get off and just go and travel, do it, because you will not regret it. You're not going to wake up and say, man, I wished I hadn't taken that trip to this beautiful place that I absolutely loved. You're not going to wake up and say that. And you're not going to wake up and say, oh man, I wish I was working this whole time so I can make all this money. Lies. You might say that, but it's better to gain these experiences than to stress yourself out at work. Everybody deserves a break. I don't care how hard you work, how broke you may be, because seeing these experiences and getting these experiences are what make you not broke. You know, when you get to go on a vacation, it makes you want to come back and work harder so you can go again and save your money. You just have to be wise about your spending, and don't live above your means. That's as simple as it gets when it comes to wanting to travel, or even basically just saving money. When you're living above your means and above what you have, go out and spend what you want. You're going to be stressing about money 24/7, which makes it worse, because you're not going to be able to enjoy the money that you get, because I need to buy this, I need to buy that. You know, yes, we all have bills to pay, and you work and you pay those bills, but you always have to stash a little bit to the side so you can enjoy all the hard work you're doing, you know. So I hope you guys enjoy that. Make sure you go out and travel. Tell me you guys' travels experiences and travel dreams, hopes, plans in the near future, far future, whatever you want to do. Let me know. And if you have any questions, I can help you. I'm not a travel agent, but I can put together some pretty good trips. So thank you guys for watching, and this was Good Things Happen on Wednesdays.